Hi there everyone, I'm super excited to see you here again on my channel. Today we're reacting to some friends that need to be thrown into trash because that is where they belong. And we are going to be reacting to some crazy Reddit stories, you guys. I am super excited. Let's get started. This is the subreddit for Am I the Jerk? Am I the a-hole for thinking my best friend is trying to get with my boyfriend? Probably not. Let's see though. I had a best friends ever since we were in elementary, and years after that I got a boyfriend. Lately, my girl best friend has been trying to talk to my boyfriend more and more. It's gotten so bad to the point where she started faking a cute sneeze around him and my boyfriend teases her afterwards. Sounds like a pick-me. Literally sounds like a pick-me. I'm not sure if she's faking it though. She used to sneeze really loudly back then. I don't know, girl. It sounds like a cute sneeze and teasing afterwards. It does sound like a sitcom waiting to be happen. What is going on? Additionally, my girl best friend has started putting her arms around his shoulder and hugging his arm. I cannot help but feel very jealous. This is completely fair. I think she's crossing some boundaries at this point. That doesn't sound too good. And to top it all off, when she's reading some Japanese words or saying Japanese phrases, she learned off Duolingo. She says it in a fake Japanese accent. She's white and quarter Chinese. I am Chinese and half Japanese. It's even worse because my boyfriend said if I rejected him, he would date her instead. Am I really a jerk or this is valid? I did not expect that from your boyfriend. I assume you guys are really young. Setting boundaries might be a good idea here, but when your boyfriend says something like that, you may think this is okay for him. This is why he's not setting his boundaries, and I'm sure he knows she's getting too close. In any case, I do feel like you should trust your gut at this point. You're not an a-hole, in my opinion, for sure. And it is important to feel secure in your relationship. So definitely leave that messy situation. That sounds horrible. You literally deserve someone who values your feelings. This is so unacceptable. Let's read some comments, you guys. Not the a-hole, I would be concerned, especially if your boyfriend has made such a comment. Yeah, that is exactly what I mean. But I will say this life is too short for be fighting for attention from your own boyfriend. If she wants him and he entertains her nonsense in the slightest, let them have each other and move on. Yeah, exactly what I mean. He's telling you that he's okay to date her. If you were to reject him at this point, that is like a clue for you to like let them be and move on. Honestly, like just go away from that situation as soon as possible, because further on it's going to get too much more toxic. I know that sounds harsh, but I promise that you will have someone better waiting for your future, and holding on to relationship might be blocking you from that blessing. Peace to you, OP. That is a wonderful message. That is so true. You guys do sound like you're young. So if you're holding on to someone who is okay with not setting boundaries with your friend and letting them being too close, and you're not comfortable with that, and you are feeling something in your gut, you definitely should move on, because there is someone else that is waiting for you that you may deserve, and they might deserve you so much more. At that point, I really think you should throw your friend away, your boyfriend away, and run and just look for a better life, my dear. Anyways, we are moving on to the next one. This is, am I the a-hole for telling my best friend if she wasn't always trying to get with my husband, her boyfriend wouldn't have left her? Sounds juicy. Let me tell you that. I, 27 female, have been best friends with Kira, 27 female, since we were little. We were neighbors, went to the same school, college, etc. She was my maid of honor when I married Rowan, 28 male, who we went to college with. At first, Kira had a big crush on him, but he started liking me. We slowly got closer and I started liking him too. This was after Kira told me she has gotten over it and was dating another guy. Fair, but I still felt really guilty and I didn't want to date him if it would hurt Kira. That's really nice of you. I asked her multiple times if she was okay with it, and she said she was, so I thought it was fine. Yeah, as long as you completely ask her for permission, because sometimes this could like cause a kind of a tough situation, right, between you and your friend, and there's like a tension that would always happen. So as long as you asked and she was okay with it and you felt like it was okay with it, she felt happy for you, right? Or at least we think she would be happy for you, because you married this guy at the end. So let's see where this story takes us. Kira has been with her latest boyfriend Adam, 27th male, for a year or so. However, over the last few months, she has been acting strange around Rowan. Whenever we have been hanging out with the three of us, or even Adam there, she would always find some way to sit next to Rowan, laugh at everything he said, etc. I didn't think anything of it initially because I knew it was kind of her personality and her and Rowan are friends. But then she started always asking me if Rowan was there before she came, and if I said no, she would often suddenly couldn't come. Girl. Though sometimes she would say that even if I said he was here. Rowan also told me about the comment she made about him once, about how he was so patient for putting up with me being too tired to do anything for him now that I was pregnant, which I thought was weird. That is super weird. What do you mean? Girl, which side are you on? I understand that it is your ex or a person that you like. You guys didn't even have a relationship, right? It's never like easy to hear accusations, especially in front of others. And Kira's behavior is actually crossing some lines, and I don't really like that. Canceling on plans, knowing he's not there, weird. Red flag for sure. The odd behavior continued, but to be honest, the pregnancy had been keeping me too exhausted to give it a lot of more thought. And Rowan seemed as friendly with Kira as always, but 2 days ago, our mutual friend, Shay, threw a dinner party. Me and Rowan went, and as did Kira and Adam. Kira got a bit tipsy and she kept trying to sit with Rowan and touch him. He excused himself a few times, but she kept finding him. I tried to get her off a few times, and I was getting mad because this was a new line that she was crossing. She was slurring about how I stole Rowan from her. Thankfully, Adam was too busy talking to Shay's husband to hear this, but he definitely saw Kira's actions. This is horrible. Girl, you're weird. The next afternoon, I was at Shay's again with some friends when Kira showed up. She was crying about how Adam had broken up with her that day, saying he didn't think they were going to work out. Everyone was consoling her, but I was kind of just sitting there. I couldn't help but feel that she brought this upon herself. She asked me, "Aren't you going to say something?" So I said maybe Adam wouldn't have left you if you weren't trying to get with Rowan all the time. Some of our friends were shocked to hear this and got mad at Kira. Some got angry with me and saying Kira was really friendly with everyone, and that was a horrible accusation to make. There is a difference between accusation and treating your friend horribly and crossing lines between where they're friends and when you're trying to hit on them. Again, setting clear boundaries is super necessary, especially when it comes to friends, meeting her boyfriend, husband, etc. If you allow this to happen, meaning you are okay with your friend going after a guy that you liked, you're giving the permission. They're married now. Girl, calm down. I really don't understand this. You signed up for this. If you're not happy about that, then you should move on from the friendship because they obviously found each other. Kira was upset, saying she couldn't believe I thought that of her, and maybe we weren't really that close. She left in tears and I left soon after too. Now I don't know, maybe was I wrong? Kira had been drinking at the dinner party and might have meant what she said, and the other stuff could have been nothing. Maybe this was too harsh to say to her after a breakup, and we could have talked privately but not in front of our friends. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, I do agree with you. You probably should have talked to her privately about it. Now the friends will assume a lot of things and this will be a weird tension between you guys, but definitely not the a-hole for doing that, because she has been crossing lines that she shouldn't have, and she literally brought up the things that she probably is thinking about sober, right? She's brought out that you stole Rowan from her, blah blah blah. So definitely not the a-hole for that reason, but she did expect you to be a friend, which is so stupid after what she did. Kudos for you though. I probably react the same way. I'm sorry. Like, I can't be nice to people like that. Let's see what the comments say. Not the a-hole, well, not entirely. Yes, it was kind of rude just to say it after she had been dumped, but she had been acting like this for a long time, to the point where even Owen was getting uncomfortable, but she still persisted. Getting drunk didn't help, but I bet Adam did hear her when she said that you stole Rowan from her. She clearly been jealous this whole time from my point of view. I really agree. I agree with this comment really much. She has been thinking about this for a very long time, so that's why she said it out loud when she was drunk. Embarrassed her boyfriend, embarrassed her friend, and everybody just feels awkward now. This is a weird, awkward situation. She has yet to move on and has only got closer. Roman also brought up that comment she said that made you both uncomfortable about being too tired to do anything. That is not a normal thing to say to your best friend husband. Even as a joke, that is messed up, not the a-hole. That is so true. Another comment says, I don't know the rules in relationships, but they're probably different for every couple, but at certain point, should he have shut it down himself? Yeah, it does seem like he was uncomfortable, but he probably was not trying to be rude to her friend. So I completely understand why, but it did cross lines and he did say he was uncomfortable. And so I think he's not in the wrong here, but I understand. Anyway, guys, this is really hard. I'm gonna move on to the next one, okay? Another am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for telling my friend she couldn't bring her kid to my child-free birthday dinner? Sounds juicy because she probably was really upset that you had to write. Let's see. I, 29 female, recently hosted a birthday dinner at a nice restaurant with a group of close friends. It was meant to be a small, child-free evening, nothing wild, just a quiet adult-only dinner with good food and conversation. Nice. I made it clear on the invite that it was adults-only event, so that everyone could plan accordingly. One of my friends, Laura, 31 female, has a 3-year-old daughter. When I first sent out the invite, she asked if she could bring her child since she didn't have a babysitter. I sympathized and told her that unfortunately I really wanted to keep this adult only event and I totally understood if she couldn't make it. She said she would figure something out and never brought it up again. Fast forward to the night of the dinner, everyone was arriving at the restaurant and Laura walks in holding her daughter's hand. I was immediately caught off guard but tried to stay calm. I pulled her aside and asked, hey, I thought we talked about this. I really wanted this to be a child-free. She shrugged and said I couldn't find a sitter and I didn't want to miss your birthday. That is so disrespectful. I don't like when people bring in their own rules into an event that they did not even host. I hate that. At this point, I was frustrated but still trying to be polite. I told her I understood, but I didn't think it was fair to the rest of the guests who also made arrangements to childcare expecting an adult environment. I asked her to leave and come back another time to celebrate separately. She got upset and said I was being ungrateful and ridiculous, that her daughter was well behaved and wouldn't cause any trouble. It's not about that. It's really not about that. I don't like that. It's really not about well behaving or not. Your friend was expecting a child-free event. She wanted to have a free time from children, right? Adults only. What if there is like adults only like other event happening in the restaurant? Like, you never know. You can't be just bringing your children while you're warned that children shouldn't be there to make arrangements, you know? This is weird. But the whole point was the principle of the thing I had set boundary and she ignored it. That is exactly what I mean. She was definitely aware of the situation and she completely ignored it. That is so disrespectful. Laura ended up leaving in a huff and later she sent me a long text about how I humiliated her in front of our friends and made her feel like a bad mom for bringing her daughter. It's not about that. A couple of our friends think I overreacted and should have just let her stay. Others agree that it was unfair to her to put me in that position. Yeah, that is completely unfair. First of all, you guys did not talk. You guys did not even discuss the situation and she says that you humiliated her. You feel humiliated because it is your birthday and you completely ignored what she said. The other way around. But yeah, you know what I mean, right, guys? So yeah, I don't agree with the friends who think you overreacted. This is probably something that you have to set boundaries, and I completely agree with that. A lot of our people have trouble setting boundaries, and I'm so glad that you stood your ground for that, girl. Like, oh, you shouldn't let people like this have their own like freedom in that sense, because you planned the event, you hosted it, you found place, you found people that you want to invite. You don't want to ruin it, and people like that need to go if they are intending to ruin it or not listening to you at this point, right? Now I feel torn. I don't want to make a scene, but I also feel like I shouldn't have to justify a boundary I was clear about from the start. Am I the a-hole for making her leave when she showed up with her kid? No, you're not the a-hole. Definitely not the a-hole. Like I said, right? You set your boundaries, you stood your ground, and I'm so proud of you. This is completely, really stupid of her to like think this is going to be okay. This is her responsibility, not your responsibility, and it's so stupid for her to think that you should be humiliated. She's not humiliated. She just looked stupid, which actually means the same thing, right? Yeah, she humiliated herself by ignoring you. Let's read some comments, you guys. Not the a-hole. A boundary is only as strong as your willingness to enforce it, and you did exactly that. Yeah, I agree. All right, next. Am I the a-hole for telling my travel friends they could leave the group, but I'll be staying? This was exactly 15 hours ago, you guys, so this is really, really fresh, ripe, and juicy. I, 28 female, have been backpacking through Southeast Asia for a few months now, and specifically Thailand for the last month or so. At the beginning of the Thailand part of my trip, I met 2 other solo travelers in my hostel who seemed good vibes, and we ended up sticking together as a trio for the next few weeks. However, as my time went on, it turns out they have a little bit of a different travel style to me, and are both quite a type A people, where I'm much more on a go with the flow. That's completely okay though. I didn't think it was a problem. I would just let them make the plans because they cared more than I did, and I just vibed along for the ride. I do also have a tendency to be a little bit more disorganized and late to things, but never more than 5 to 10 minutes. Also, in all honesty, who cares if we leave the hostel 5 minutes later than agreed for dinner or going to the beach? We're just chilling in a fun place with fun people either way. Anyway, I thought we were getting along. Over the past couple of weeks, we have added 4 more people to our little team. That was until yesterday, when the 2 originals sat me down and told me they do not want to travel with me anymore because it's irritating that I never contribute to the plans and am often late. That is understandable. If you're in a team, you should understand and respect people, and at this point I don't think you're doing something illegal or criminally wrong, but I do think people who are type A, right, they are like a little bit more organized. They like to be set on point, on the dot, and you probably are ruining their timeline a little bit. So I understand them and I understand you. This is completely okay. You guys just don't work together. That's fine. I told them that I would have been happy to compromise if I knew they were upset, and that I generally thought me not contributing to plans was making everything go smoother, because I really don't care how much what we do. This way, the team only has a balance of 2 people sometimes conflicting wants. Regardless, if that's how they felt, I told them that is sad, but it's cool, and I won't take it personally if they were to go their own thing. This is where the conflict comes in. They told me that they really like the group dynamic with the other 4 people we found, so they would prefer if I was the one to leave, and that it is more fair that way because there are 2 of them and 1 of me. I told them I like traveling with the others too, and they're ones with the issue, not me, so I won't be doing that. Summary: 2 out of 6 of my travel group don't want to travel with me anymore, so they're trying to kick me out of the group. I told them to shove it, and they should be the ones to leave if they were that bothered. So am I the a-hole? I think there's a little bit more context. I think they are really irritated by something else that you probably are not noticing, and they're too kind not to tell you, because if they were just irritated that you were late for 5-10 minutes, I don't think they would completely wanted you to leave. But since you do feel like you're getting isolated in that sense, I think you should stand your ground, because if you feel comfortable with the other 4 people, right, this is not a group where you guys set. Why can't you just all travel together? Why does that matter so much? Let me read some comments. Not the a-hole. Easy fix: check in with the other new people and see if they feel same that way. You're type A's. If yes, no drama, bounce and find more chill people. If not, your former travel buddies can be the ones to move along. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. This is probably something that it just depends on how they feel. I don't think it's something about you, or you're probably not noticing and you're doing something else. If this is something that is bothering the other people that are in your travel group, you probably should find someone else. But other than that, I think you should be okay with what you already have, so don't worry about that too much. To be honest though, I doubt it's about you or your behavior. They could just be looking to even out numbers, either for sexy reasons or simply logistics. For some reason, 7 people are harder to make plans for that 6 people. Traveling is built for even numbers, and often places refuse to accommodate for an extra person. I say this as I just spent a month traveling as a 3. Nearly everywhere was like, nope, 2 or 4 please. That is interesting actually. I Never thought about that. I'm not the one to be traveling too often, so probably that's why I have never heard of that. I don't know why I'm talking so fast, you guys. I'm sorry. I think it's just the caffeine and maybe, but yeah, definitely don't know why that could have occurred, but I understand. Even numbers make sense, especially if you guys are trying to join in like an activity, you know, like hiking activity or boating and stuff like that. They do like even numbers, but it just makes no sense. I would honestly listen to your gut. I would speak to the other crew members and see what they say, right? You don't want to make everyone feel uncomfortable. The tension might grow into something bigger. So yeah, trust your gut, my dear. All right, guys, I don't think you are the a-hole, so we are set. All right, guys, let me know every thought you have for each Reddit post that I created. I would love to hear your comments in the description below. Thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to check out every link I have in the description. I have a second channel about beauty. If you are the one that didn't know about this, I do beauty and I love beauty. It comes really natural to me. If you like beauty, join me on that channel as well. We do a lot of beauty stuff on there, makeup, skincare, and everything. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section as well. But thank you again, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye.